Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through a dynamic effort upper workout. So my variation for this 3-week wave is close grip bench press. And this week is the first week in the wave, so I have 3 sets of 5. Well, it's supposed to be 3 sets of 5. On this second set here, I do a set of 5, but I forgot that I wasn't going higher reps. I was just thinking of grinding out. So I sort of do a 6 extra weird rep when I realized. But anyway, it's supposed to be 3 sets of 5 at 75% of my 1 rep max. That's bar weight plus band tension. So they actually moved really good, and I'm going to try and maintain that bar speed as I increase the weight over the 3-week wave. So obviously this is the lightest week. It's just to get a feeling for the variation. Last week's variation, for instance, was a camber bar bench press, and before that was a 15-degree incline. So the first week where it's the lightest is just about feeling out the variation and trying to get the bar to move as fast as possible. And then the next 2 weeks you up the bar weight to try and really push how heavy you can go whilst maintaining a fast bar speed. So the first accessory here was rope tricep extension. So my triceps had been very sore during the week from the easy bar overhead tricep extensions I'd done on my max effort workout. That's why I chose rope extensions here, because they are a slightly easier variation. However, I used 80 pounds, which is the heaviest I've ever used on this. I think the heaviest I've previously gone to is only 60 pounds. And I did sets of 6, but then supersetting it with like 6 reps bent over like this. For some reason, I am just way stronger in this bent over position, but it allowed me to grind out extra reps, really push the triceps, and they were very sore after those sets. So that went well. Then moving on to the next accessory here, it was barbell rows. So I did these at 140 kilos, which is the heaviest I've ever done. And I was aiming for at least sets of 6. So I think I got 2 sets of 8 with like a set of 6, then a little break, and then cranked out 2 extra reps. So this is, like I say, the heaviest I've ever done on barbell rows. And I did use a bit more momentum than I would have liked. I sort of like, particularly at the later reps, flick up. Now, a part of that is because I did really heavy good mornings on my lower max day, and my mid back was very fatigued. It didn't feel strong enough to be able to hold me in that bent over position. So that's why I was using a bit of momentum there, which is slightly suboptimal, but I still felt like I hit the back effectively. And that is the heaviest I've ever gone on those. And it definitely felt like a manageable weight, which was good. So moving on to the next accessory here, it is weighted dips. So I haven't done these pretty much ever within my main training. I've done it on a few deload weeks, just regular dips, but I decided I'm going to try and start incorporating more weighted dips into my training. With 25 kilos, I wanted to try and get sets of 6. That is the theme for this week, by the way, trying to do heavy lower rep sets whilst it is the first week in my 3-week cycle, the first week back from the deload. And I did manage to get a set of 8 on the first set because I felt really strong, but on the second set I did just get a set of 6, which was sort of expected, so I was happy with those. Then moving on to the next accessory here, it was alternating dumbbell bicep curls. I went the heaviest I ever have done on this with 30 kilos, which is a massive improvement. I could literally like never have moved this in the past. That rep there was a bit dodgy. I got a set of 4 on each arm on this first set, but to be honest, I was having some grip issues. I'm having some grip issues on my right side in general, and it's sort of stopping me from accessing my power, particularly in things like bicep curls on that right hand side. So that is shown way more on this second set, where I think I get a set of 3 per arm. But after doing this 3rd rep on the right hand side, which was really hard, like the left hand side felt like it had loads in the tank. So I was sort of annoyed, and I decided to crank out more reps with the left hand side. And as you can see, I got 5 reps pretty easily there. So that's me a bit frustrated, not knowing why there's a huge disparity, but it is frustrating with whatever's going on with my grip on my right hand side is a bit annoying, but they were still by far the heaviest I've ever done. I literally couldn't even fathom like doing a single rep at 30 kilos on a bicep curl. Like honestly, at the beginning of this year, I didn't think that I would ever do that really. So I was very happy with those. Moving on to the next accessory here, it is overhead dumbbell strict press. and I'm using the 35 kilo dumbbells. Again, like the theme of this video, that's the heaviest I've ever done, and I got 2 sets of 6 overhead. So these were actually surprisingly hard on my abs. Like, I was bracing and trying not to, I do have an arch in my back, but trying not to like completely collapse while pressing up the dumbbells. That was honestly almost the hardest part. But yeah, I was very happy with those. I mean, 35 kilos per hand is like 70 kilos in total, which is a decent strict press for me. My strict press max is like 92.5 kilos, but I used to find 70 kilos a challenging strict press only a couple of years ago, and now I'm doing it for reps as an accessory towards the end of a workout. So that felt good. Then the final accessory here was abs. So I was trying to do an isometric hold, basically as close to parallel as I could, which is the deepest I've ever gone. Towards the end there, I started to come up, and my abs were so sore from the ab wheels I'd done in the upper max video earlier in the week. I slightly strained my abs as well. They've been sore all week. So I was debating whether to do a second set here, and I decided just to call it there. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all of that good stuff, and I hope you have a great day.